Weather Extra. On these first alert weather days, we want to bring the extra look at preventing heat illnesses and what you should do if you are affected.
And did you know that not only humans, but plants can sweat too? We talk about the phenomenon of corn sweat and how it impacts the weather.
Plus, we take another look at that fall foliage forecast and let you know when we can start seeing those fall colors and who's already seeing them.
Live on your side. First Alert Weather Extra starts right now.
Well, check this out. A dust devil spotted in Arlington, Tennessee. They're typically formed by strong surface heating and can be 500 to 1,000 feet tall. Even though they're not as strong as tornadoes, they can certainly still cause damage. That's crazy, just seeing that right smack dab in the middle of the sunshine.
Yeah, that is so interesting.
Keep it up there in Tennessee.
Yeah, we don't want that.
No dust devils here.
We'll take these little pop-up showers and little isolated storms.
Yeah, they're fine. Those are fine. We'll deal with that.
Most definitely. Well, I mean, Lauren, we still have first alert weather days ahead of us.
We do, yes. So we had one yesterday, we got one today, and we're about halfway through it.
Halfway through.
Thursday and Friday as well.
Exactly. So we're almost there. We need to start off with talking more about the heat in the coming days. Take a look right now, though. First alert AccuTrack satellite and radar showing a few showers still popping up across the area, mainly to our western counties, areas west of I-65, over towards Hale County, parts of Tuscaloosa, like the southern portions. Also a few showers there in Bibb County. It's not a washout by any means for those of you who have any evening plans, but I am seeing some more heavier rainfall in parts of Fayette County, on and along Highway 43, Highway 129 and 102. You might just catch some heavy rain if you're in that area. So giving you that first alert. But most counties and most areas across central Alabama are dry right now. The big story is the heat. It's so hot. I just left from being outside on my dinner break and I'm like, oh my goodness, it's a little humid out there too. Have you felt the difference? 96 right now in Jefferson County, 95 in Tuscaloosa, 97 in Haleyville, 95 in Jasper. But here's a look at those feel like temperatures. We're still easily feeling like the upper 90s, low 100s across the area. We haven't seen a lot of wet weather for us this afternoon and evening, so not a lot of heat relief to expect for the rest of tonight. And as we look at that muggy meter over the next several days, it's only going to feel even hotter. Those heat indices are going to be the main story, really, as we head into the end of your work week and into your Labor Day weekend. Dew points are going to be more likely in the 60 to 70 degree range. So if you don't like sticky and uncomfortable weather, well, I hate to tell you that dry heat is long gone. So we're going to see more of that humid air-like conditions over the next couple of days. But if you're looking at some days to get outside, even though it's humid, to get some yard work done, Wednesday, this evening, I'm giving you the green light. But as we approach your Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, it's more fair conditions. That's because we still have this chance to see widely scattered showers and even an isolated storm. Plenty of breaks, though, so I'm not going to tell you that it's a bad opportunity to get some yard work done. If you want to use your Labor Day weekend to actually do some labor, hey, have at it, by all means. Here's a look at those headlines. Tonight, we'll continue to see a few showers and storms at least before 7 p.m. But tomorrow, we'll see another round of afternoon showers and a few storms possible. And then for tomorrow night, we're holding on to partly cloudy skies and lows in the 70s as we bring in Friday. We'll have more on the rest of that 7-day forecast right here on Weather Extra. Lauren?
Well, Tania, as the temperatures rise, now is a great time to download our WBRC First Alert weather app. There you can get alerts where you live, get the hour-by-hour forecast, and activate our live First Alert AccuTrack. Just scan the QR code on your screen that you see right now. Well, we first brought you the story yesterday about new research showing that there has been a 117% increase in heat-related deaths since 1999. And today, we're on your side with how you can make sure the people you care about stay safe. With humidity set to increase by the end of the week, making temperatures feel like they're over 100 degrees, it's important to know the signs and symptoms of heat stroke and heat exhaustion. Dr. Wes Stubblefield has those symptoms and what you can do in either case.
If you suspect heat stroke, which is when the body loses its ability to regulate heat, generally the people are very hot, they're very dry to the touch, they may lose consciousness, they may be combative or confused. That's a medical emergency. So they need to be taken to a cool place and you need to call EMS immediately. If someone just has heat exhaustion where they're nauseous, dizzy, they just don't feel well, maybe have a headache, fatigued, they need to get into a cool environment and they need to cool down and they need to be supplied with plenty of fluids. And if anything changes or anything serious develops, again, the next call is to emergency medical services.
Factors like socioeconomic status, access to air conditioning, and outdoor work conditions also play a role. Dr. Stubblefield says it's important we all check on the most vulnerable in our community, such as the sick, elderly, and those with mental illness. While something that certainly always helps me when it's hot, treating myself to a little iced coffee, which I did go get today, and it is all melted. What a shock. So for that iced coffee cast for tomorrow, we got that first alert for breaking brews here in the First Alert Weather Center. Tomorrow, shocker, you should go with the extra large iced coffee because it's going to be so hot. As Tania was mentioning, the problem with this heat is not just that, okay, we'll have highs in the mid-90s tomorrow. It's the humidity. And it's that humidity that pushes feels-like temperatures into the triple digits. Now, one thing that can help cool you off other than the iced coffee, and if you're like me, you're going to be a little extra, put a little pumpkin spice in it. We do have that 40% chance for some widely scattered showers and storms in the afternoon. So hopefully that can help to cool you off, Tania.
Well, Lauren, as we continue to talk about the impacts of humidity on these hot conditions that we're already seeing, did you know that corn and soybean crops can cause humidity to spike in a phenomenon called, get this, corn sweat? Most common across the Corn Belt states, as you can see on the screen, it can make heat go from uncomfortable to unbearable. Dew points were recorded at 70 degrees and above throughout this area. Over 127 million acres across the Midwest and agricultural, and the sweating corn and soybean makes up to 75% of it, according to the U.S. Department of Agriculture. And take a look at this full screen. The scientific name for corn sweat being evapotranspiration. Big words, guys, which is just the natural process of water evaporating from plants into the air. So as they release the water and carbon dioxide, it's cooling the plants down, which is similar to how we cool our bodies through sweating. During these growing seasons, an acre of corn can sweat off about 3,000 to 4,000 gallons of water a day. Wow! And even though this corn sweat causes humidity and uncomfortable conditions, it is a sign of healthy crops. So next time you're visiting the Midwest and wondering why it's so humid, you may be experiencing the effects of corn sweat. This also comes as fast-moving storms pushed across southeast Michigan last night. The storms knocked down trees, down power lines, and left hundreds of thousands of people without power. One of the areas hit hard by the storm is Oakland County, where high winds from the storm knocked down transformers, as well as a tree that toppled over a vehicle.
At first I heard a loud gust of wind, and then I heard the trees. I was in my room. I heard the trees outside just crack and come down. You never think you're gonna be impacted. You see other people impacted. You never think it's gonna be you, and then it happens and it's you.
The power outages caused by the storm led to dozens of school closures as well.
And well, that same severe weather system beginning to shift to the northeast as extreme heat fuels it. Nearly 28 million people from the Ohio Valley to the northern part of the mid-Atlantic coast are under a slight risk for severe thunderstorms. That's a level 2 out of 5 risk. Damaging winds and large hail being the primary concerns. The abundant moisture and high heat are helping to push the severe weather threat throughout the evening. But hey, how about that fall foliage forecast? I know nothing's really happening just yet, but I did want to show you guys. This is on one of our computers here in the Weather Center. Look at this. Check this out. So as we look ahead to fall, we keep wondering, okay, when are things going to be changing? Like next week or the week after that? No, we still got some time. So here we are looking at the end of this week on Friday. Yeah, maybe in the Rockies we're beginning to see a little change, but look what happens. Here we are going forward to next week, September 6th. Maybe a little bit of spotty coverage in the Appalachians, but not much yet. You begin to see as we get into the middle of September, beginning to see more vibrant colors across the Rockies, into the Great Lakes and upper Midwest, up into the Northeast, parts of the Appalachians, but still, we're taking our sweet time here in Alabama. I mean, are we shocked? That's how it works around here. But as we get towards the end of September, early October, we begin to see maybe a little bit of minimal coverage getting into parts of central Alabama. And then as we progress through October, that's when we really begin to see some improvement. Right now, though, it is still summer, y'all. Sorry to report.
Well, coming up in 30 seconds, we take a quick look at our upcoming forecast and take you across the globe to Japan, where they're preparing for impacts from Typhoon Shinshin. We'll be right back.
Welcome back to First Alert Weather Extra. I'm meteorologist Lauren Linehan. Not everyone's been seeing storms today, but hey, we're seeing more than we have over the past few days with the humidity back. You'll notice some scattered showers, widely scattered, have developed areas to the south and west. So we'll zoom in to where we're seeing a couple of thunderstorms around if you're headed out to dinner here shortly. First, to the south of Tuscaloosa and to the south and west of Centerville, we have a storm that's producing some decent lightning near Havana and Harper Hill. This is actually just to the east of Moundville, so if you're traveling anywhere around Moundville, Phipps, Hogglesville, you could be running into this thunderstorm. Also, another little thunder shower back towards Harrisburg. And then we've also been tracking a couple of showers, a little bit more spotty up in northwest Alabama. You can see right along Highway 82 and Reform and then up towards Fayette. These don't have as much lightning on them. As they've been drifting to the west, they've kind of been fizzling out, but could certainly see some downpours with these. And then we look a little bit farther to the south. Most of the activity farther south is closer to Montgomery. And those storms closer to Montgomery do have a lot more lightning on them. So be careful if you're traveling down I-65 tonight. Tania?
Well, Lauren, we're going to take our friends around the world where more than one person was urged to evacuate today ahead. 1 million people, were urged to evacuate today ahead of Typhoon Shinshin as it moves towards the southern part of the country. It's currently the equivalent of a Category 3 hurricane with winds at 115 miles per hour, and it's expected to make landfall late today, or really late Thursday or into Friday morning. Local time as equivalent to a Category 1 or 2 hurricane. The storm's outer rain bands already impacting Japan's southern islands by bringing heavy winds and storm surge. Shinshin has left nearly 14,000 households without power across the island of Kyushu.
Hey, but back here at home, we're introducing the newest member to the First Alert weather team. Meteorologist Matt Daniel and Mickey Ferguson bring her out for her first debut on Weather Extra.
Well, welcome in. We have a new person that's on the WBRC 6 weather team. And Matt, why don't you introduce her?
Megan Thomas.
Yay!
Right.
Yes. So tell us about yourself.
Okay, guys. Well, I am a Georgia peach, but I moved to Alabama in 2008, then spent 12 years here and got my degrees from Alabama, broadcasting and geography. And
Heard
then
of it, yeah.
Yeah. And then my master's degree is actually from Mississippi State over in Starkville.
So you got a cowbell at home?
I do have a cowbell at home. It's kind of a rite of passage message.
Right.
You
Yeah.
know, it's
Thanks for not
part of
bringing it.
It would really, honestly,
Seriously.
I should. It'd wake you up in
Yeah.
between shows. Yeah, yeah. Mhm. Yeah.
So we're going to be seeing you here on Weather Extra, also in the early morning hours of Good Day Alabama from 4 till about 6:30, and then you come back for Good Day Extra.
Right around 9. And we have the little handoff. We do that right at 6:30. You know, the workload that you guys have been doing for all these years is incredible. So I'm here to split it up, not taking it from anybody, just kind of helping y'all out. And I think it's going to be, you get to sleep in a little bit longer.
Well, you'll find that this guy is a huge help in the
huge.
mornings and to our entire staff.
He already has been. I texted him last night and was like, how do I get this into the computer?
Right. And you know what's so impressive is that, you know, a lot of people, when we get new people here, they're like, who's leaving? Nobody's leaving.
Nobody.
We're just adding on to our awesome team of meteorologists here. And you can still catch me. I'm here on the weekend mornings. So don't worry. We're all here. We're all a good team. And we're just so glad to have you here.
Thank you. No, it feels good to be back. I mean, I spent 12 years in this state. It really shaped who I am as a person, as a meteorologist. I learned all sorts of severe weather. I mean, I lived through April 27th, 2011. So it's kind of that, it has this like special place in my heart. So to be able to be back and serve with people who helped save my life, you know, it just really is a cool thing to be a part of.
Well, Megan Thomas joining us in the mornings and here on Weather Extra during the week. Welcome to the team.
Thanks, fellas.
Hey, I know Tania, Matt, and I are always happy to have another Georgia Peach on the weather team here in Alabama. Well, as we look ahead to the weekend and the rest of Weather Extra, we still talk about those rain chances creeping their way back in. Plus, we take you across the country to a new tool that'll help the environment. Hey, we always love that. And bonus, get kids back to school safely. We'll be right back. So you may be thinking, man, I feel like it's been a first alert weather day every day this week. Well, almost. We started them yesterday, still today, and also Thursday through Friday. Remember, this isn't because of a severe threat necessarily, but because the heat's so dangerous. When you get high temperatures into the mid-upper 90s and then you ramp up the humidity, definitely going to have a bad time. So looking at feels like temperatures right now, we are beginning to get closer to sunset, so they're going down a bit, but still feels like 103 in Tuscaloosa, 100 in Greensboro, and 102 in Utah. So over the next couple of days, we're still going to keep that humidity high, and that's why we still have first alert weather days in place through Friday. Now, for the start of the weekend, it's still going to be humid. We may see the feels like temperatures go down a little bit for the latter half of the Labor Day weekend. We're tracking the possibility of a cool front coming through. Is it going to get a whole lot colder? Not necessarily, but it's not going to be anywhere near as hot. So that will certainly help to temper the heat a little bit. So looking ahead here over the next several days as we head towards Labor Day weekend, the forecast honestly looks pretty summer-like. You look at that and you're like, oh yeah, exactly what I would expect for Labor Day. Highs in the low mid 90s. The humidity, at least initially, will be running high, and with those moisture levels higher, we've still got a chance for a few storms. Now, even if we see a little bit of lower humidity trying to sneak its way in on Labor Day, a front could stall out, that cool front that's coming in, and so that could help to spark some more showers and storms even as we get past Labor Day into early next week. So as far as the future cast here for at least the next 24, 36 hours or so, going into tomorrow, we start off dry, but notice as we get into the afternoon, we begin to see the possibility of at least some widely scattered showers and storms developing. When that heat bubble eventually pops, it can produce some storms that could be on the strong side, producing possibly some heavy downpours, frequent lightning, or gusty winds. And then we start off Friday quiet again, and that possibility of some storms into the afternoon. I will say one benefit of some rain in the forecast that could help to knock down the ragweed and grass pollens, which is what we have to worry about as we get into fall allergy season. Also, as we get into September, we got to keep an eye on the tropics. Just one area we're watching right now that has a 20% chance of development over the next week. Nothing to be concerned about now, but we're keeping an eye on it. So first alert weather days through Friday, and you will notice as we go forward in time into next week, we really begin to knock down that heat slowly but surely. But it's definitely going to take a little bit to get to that point. So before we get there, we're going to continue to track that chance of storms. You notice with the 7-day forecast, we are keeping that storm chance around even through the middle of next week, possibly because of that front stalling out. So maybe there's a little hope beyond the 7-day, Tania, for maybe seeing temperatures going down just a little bit, maybe?
I'm going to say yes.
Okay, we love that.
Now, we're not talking near 100 anymore, Lauren.
Yay.
So that's the good thing. Finally, some major improvements. Take a look here beyond the 7-day. We still have those first alert weather days like Lauren was just mentioning through the rest of your work week, but your weekend, not too bad. It's still going to be a little hot and definitely humid with those highs in the 90s carrying into early next week. But notice middle of next week, we start to see those 80s popping out. 89 by Wednesday, staying in the mid to upper 80s through the end of next week. And then possibly as we look closer to 14 days out from now, we're starting to see those lower to mid 80s, but also seeing a slight chance for a few showers and storms in the days ahead. So once again, you want to keep checking in for updates. We'll have updates for you right here. And of course, every weekday at 6:30 on Weather Extra. We love to take you beyond the 7-day. But now check this out. Oakland is now the first large school district in the nation to have its entire school bus fleet made up of electric vehicles. Fox's Tom Bakar has more.
Oakland Unified School District's 100% electric fleet makes it the nation's first major school system to have buses in a fleet that transports students. But get this, these high-tech buses can actually feed power back into the electricity grid when needed, enough to power more than 1 million homes in a year. The 74 buses will transport 1,300 special needs students, many who are deeply affected by pollution.
Chronic asthma increases the level that kids are actually absent from school. Our special needs students tend to have some of the highest chronic absenteeism.
In Oakland, kids without special needs are taken to school by parents or public transit. The district's transportation director says diesel buses emit a lot of pollution, make a lot of noise, and ride rough.
And so if you ride on an EV bus, right, it's cleaner, it's quieter for my special needs kids. They actually have a fair chance when they get to school to not be sick.
PG&E is a major partner in the effort.
My coworkers at PG&E have taken a stand that we shall have clean and resilient energy for all. And this project today is a perfect example.
Making a bus yard the largest vehicle-based, grid-supporting clean energy resource in the country.
What Oakland Unified is doing is on grand scale, 74 buses, the grandest scale so far. And yet it is technology that has been proven, tried and true for year after year after year.
In the words of the great Oakland poet Tupac Shakur, a rose grows in concrete.
With every bus tracked by an online app, parents and caretakers can know exactly where the students are to and from school. And this is just the beginning.
We are awarding $5 billion solely under our Clean School Bus program to electrify school buses across the country.